Hi there, Andrea Lambert here from sunny Arizona. I'm in my little RV. You can kind of see it in the background there. And I was thinking, I get this question all the time, so I'm going to answer on this video, is where do you get your protein? So, as the biologist in me considers something like that, I first want to think about what does nature show us that our protein requirements are. First of all, I want to say, when we think of protein, what we really need is amino acids, and our body will take the protein in animal flesh out of beef or fish or chicken or pork or any of that. It's all animal flesh. It's all quote unquote meat, and it's the muscle of the animal. That is very complex because they ate something. They ate amino acids from plants, and then their bodies converted it into muscle. And if you think about a rhinoceros, a full-grown carnivore like a lion will not dare take down a rhinoceros or an elephant or a giraffe, a full-grown giraffe, because they're very, very powerful, and they get all their protein requirements from plants. So our bodies also require amino acids to build our muscles. But the easiest way to do it is eating plants, because we don't really need protein per se, because amino acids are short chain proteins. We need those amino acids because it doesn't require as much energy to use the amino acids. So for eating plants, we're getting the amino acids in a form that we can use with very little energy. But when we eat an animal, we have to take a lot of energy to break down those complex chains of protein, and then there's not much left over to actually use. There's a lot of waste in that chemical reaction that happens inside our body. So with waste, what happens? It accumulates. We get toxic. So it slows down the digestive process, and then anything else that's sitting in our intestines is starting to ferment. If there's fat in it, it's starting to go rancid, and all of that is rotting in our gut. So it's important to eat what's easiest for our body to use. And I wanted to show you this little thing that I drew up here, if I can. Let's see here. All right, so if you can see here, I wrote a little chart down so that you can get a look at what I'm talking about and see it in words. So from animals, protein is very complex. They're complex molecules. And the complex means you have to use a lot of energy. From plants, it's simple molecules. And plants provide the amino acids ready to use. Ready to use means we need very little energy to be able to utilize those amino acids, that form. So people wonder too, well, how much do I need? The conventional calculation is 20% of your ideal body weight. That is your protein requirements. But what studies are showing is the more complex proteins we eat, the higher percentage that can actually trigger tumor formation. So when they gave rats with cancer 20% flesh-based protein, they turned on cancer. When they dropped it down to about 10% or below 10%, they turned off the tumor formation. So that's really important. We need to know these things that nature does and requires. So in nature provides between 8 and 12% protein in our meals. I've done the calculations. It's always between 8 and 12%. And if we think about the very first time we needed protein, it was when we were born, until we were weaned off mother's milk. Mother's milk is 3 to 5% protein. That's going to be the most protein we ever need in our life. So we get plenty. We don't need to eat concentrated forms of protein. We don't need protein powders. Now, if we're trying to do something unnatural to our body, like go against our natural design and try and build a bunch of muscle when we don't really need it just for looks, then yeah, these concentrated protein forms can help us become unnatural. But again, let's try to stick with nature. You know, the protein myth is we need 20% protein a day. The protein truth is we need about 8 and 12% amino acids per day. And you can do that calculation and figure it out. Now, we really need to learn how to trust nature. I'm going to show you this other thing here. This spirulina. If you look at the back, right here it says 2 grams of protein for these 6 little pills right here. These 6 little pills. Let's see, can I get them in the picture? Yeah, here we go. Just 6 little pills. That's 4% right there. 4% of your daily intake based on calories. And then we have the kale chips here. And when you look at here, it even says it on the package. They're trying to point out 6 grams of protein per serving. And so if you eat this whole bag, like I'll eat a bag and that'll be a meal for me. I love it. I love kale chips. And that's, again, 4% protein. So if I usually take about 3 of these spirulina packets, so about, 18 a day. And so that's, a lot of protein right there. And then in the kale chips, that's another, so I'm easily getting 12% protein just between the spirulina and the kale chips. And that's not all I eat all day long, you know what I mean? Nuts and seeds are really high, the dark leafy greens. Actually, everything in nature has amino acids in it. It's just, like an apple is not going to have as much. It's not going to be as power-packed, densely packed with, the protein. And remember, too, the difference between animal and plant-based protein, not only does it zap your energy, but there's no nutrients. There's no fiber, no antioxidants. For sure, you're not going to get those 2 nutrients in the animal flesh. You might get a little bit of fat-soluble vitamins and some minerals, but you can't overcook it. All your omegas are gone. If, whatever the animal ate and wherever it got its nutrients, it's going to, as soon as you cook it, all that's destroyed out of your food. So anyway, I hope you understand a little more about protein and the myth that people who want us to buy animal flesh have told us. So let's stick with what nature is trying to tell us. And we'll feel a lot better for it. We'll have a lot more longevity, anti-aging, weight management. All of that will be right at our fingertips if we follow and trust nature. All right? So I hope you enjoy this educational video. Please be sure to sign up for my channel so you can get all the new videos that I'm posting, and visit my website, synchronicity.com, so you can see all my latest information, free recipes, all kinds of stuff that I've got on there, ebooks. Take my 7-day challenge, my 7-day live plant-based challenge, so you can experience what it's like to be on a plant-based diet for a short amount of time. You'll notice a big difference and see how easy it is to make and inexpensive. It's really fast, fun, and tasty living a plant-based lifestyle. And there's always lots